Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Tea with Me Tuesday. I just made it, so it's not too hot. Hmm. Well, thank you for allowing me for missing out on some videos that I did last week. I needed a few days to recoup. I had so much on the go, and everything's fine. It's just I had a few things I had to do, and for those of you who are YouTubers, you know it takes time to prepare. It takes time to edit everything and then upload it. And, it's hours and hours of work. So I really needed to kind of take a little bit of time for myself and get a few things done. I had no choice. But anyway, so um, yeah, I had written down a few things because sometimes I'm sitting on my bed, but I'm kind of crooked. Sorry. um, Sometimes I think of things that I want to talk about, and sometimes now my mic is here. I'm sorry if I hit it. I apologize. I don't usually wear it, but I had nothing to put it on right now because I rearranged my room. No, I didn't. I kind of moved a few things out of the way because I have um, important papers, so-called important papers, and I hadn't really been filing properly. I hadn't really purged, taxes from like 10 years ago. You don't have to keep them that long. But anyway, and most of my, anyway, so I have a big box in front of my closet that's full of papers that have identifiers on it that I need to shred. So I threw out a lot of stuff that there was no name on it or anything and no information. But anything that has that, I always shred it because I just don't want to take any chances. But we're all busy doing different things, preparing. We did our Thanksgiving and we had our Remembrance Day, and my American friends, you'll be doing your Thanksgiving, and then suddenly Christmas will be upon us. And right now, a lot of us are doing Christmas crafts. We're doing fairs. Well, um, I don't think we have any fairs scheduled. Um, in the U.S., you guys are just totally open with fairs. It's craziness. I mean, you're lucky. It's not crazy. I mean, you're just lucky that you can do that. So, and I've been busy kind of preparing a list of things I want to make. And when I buy things at the dollar store, there's things that I want to create. And something pulls me away and I start doing something else and blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking about Christmas traditions. I was thinking about when I was young and what was one of my most memorable Christmases. And I have two, but when I was little, when I can say somewhere between 8 and 12. I don't remember. It had to have been before I was 10, maybe. Anyway, um, I we were out shopping or something. I don't remember, but there was this stuffed monkey, and it was blue and white, and it was furry and soft, and it had, its mouth open with, it had a banana in its hand. The hands were hard, the face was hard, but the rest of it, the tail and everything, was all soft, plush, and I wanted it so bad. And, um, and anyway, um, the monkey could put the banana in his mouth, which was kind of cute, kind of like a baby, you know, soother and all that stuff, or a bottle. And my mom and dad said, they couldn't afford it that year. And we did film it, actually, and I do have video that my dad had filmed us bringing a big box downstairs from upstairs. I think it was from the basement, I'm not sure, of for decorating the tree and presents to put under the tree. And anyway, my dad filmed it. And when I saw that film and I saw me open the box, my gift, and I got the monkey, I was so excited, like just over the moon. And I know it was a simple stuffed animal, but it was something I really, really wanted. And, I was disappointed that we couldn't get it, but I understood that we couldn't afford a lot. And anyway, when I opened it up and Dad filmed it, and I'm just holding it and, just madly in love with the darn thing. The funny thing is that, when you're a kid, you really like something, you really want it badly, and then when you get it, you play with it for a while, and then, it always laid on my bed. It was always a bed fixture. But we had different traditions. My grandmother was the matriarch of our family, my dad's mom, who lived with us after her husband died. I think they both lived with us when he got sick. And then he passed away, and my grandmother continued to live with us. And she was always the one who did all the baking and the cooking and all of that stuff. And she used to sing. And the other memory that I have is that my grandmother had a budgie bird called Jackie. I think she called him Jackie or Jack, because I think she called her husband Jack. Jacques. He was Jacques. He was French, but she called him Jack. And the bird actually adored my grandmother. Absolutely adored it. I always remember the bird in the house and chirping away and singing away whenever she would sing while she was baking, constantly singing. So even for Christmases, we would my dad was one of two, like me and my brother. My dad and his sister older, my dad younger, I'm older, my brother's younger. But our two families always got together. It was one of those things. We usually went to my aunt's place because she had a bigger house and more kids. There was four kids, and it was easier for us to go and visit them. And for many, many years, our Christmases were spent with my cousins, and it was wonderful. And even after my grandmother passed away, we continued to have Christmas Eve at my aunt's place, where all the big families would get together, and as the children got married and had children and the grandchildren and so on. And it was a beautiful memory, and the families getting together, and they were beautiful times, and I have such fond memories. And I wonder if there's any special thing that you wanted when you were young, and we're talking younger, before marriage thing, before teenage thing, or maybe as a teenager or younger. Was there something that you really, really wanted and your parents said, no, we couldn't, and then surprised you? Or you didn't get it, but you wanted it so bad and you were so disappointed? I'm curious to know, what kind of special things that you were kind of hoping for as a child. I mean, there were so many memories that I have, but those were good times spending. I grew up with my cousins, and we spent all special occasions together, birthdays and Christmas and Easter and Halloween and everything. In the summertime, my dad used to take us camping. We had a tent. We had a tent that we slept in, and a tent that was a kitchen tent, so it had mesh all the way around. And my grandmother, of course, was in charge, but she loved to fish. My grandmother grew up on a farm, and she was a very tough woman. She was tender and loving, but she was a tough woman, and she was tiny. Because I remember her being shorter than me, and I'm 5'1", so she must have been about 5 foot, I guess, or 4'11", 5 foot. But strong, she was a strong woman, and she was tough. And I remember her. I had long hair when I was a little girl, and she used to put it in braids, and she used to brush my hair every night, and she brushed it hard. My grandmother was not, gentle. She was quite. So I think that's why, kids pulling my hair doesn't bother me, because babies can pull my. It doesn't bother me because I guess I got a tough head now. But those are just some of the memories of when I was a child and having Christmas with family and my cousins, and we remained close over the years. We had our own lives. They had their children and so on. But we always, when we got together, we would laugh a lot, a lot. That was another memory of Christmas I remember, is laughing. And some of the stories my aunt would tell us, and some of the stories my cousins would say, and those are beautiful memories. And I'm glad I had them. I'm glad I had the kind of happy Christmases that, that I did growing up. What was some of the other things I wanted to talk about? Because I keep babbling on, and I do. Yeah. Traditions, big tradition in our family growing up was going to midnight mass Christmas Eve. That was a big thing. I don't remember when we first started because I was so little. I mean, we went midnight mass. It was a very big deal. And then my father was terrible. Could not keep secrets. Didn't want us to go to bed without opening at least one gift. If he had had his way, we would have opened them all before we went to bed. So we began, as we got a little older, my father, he was such a big baby. He was so comical. One gift you could open, and he had to convince my mom and my grandmother, he had to convince them that after Mass it was okay for the kids to open one gift. And I mean, midnight Mass, we got home, it's like 1 o'clock. Mass was always an hour, so get home at 1:30, and, and of course, hoping that we were going to sleep in the morning. Well, no, Santa's coming, we got to get up. They were, oh my gosh. It was just fun things like that I remember, and traditions. We don't have the same traditions today as we did. We still have our Christmas Eve tradition, and that is something I believed in even when I started having children, that we can have Christmas Eve at in-laws. We could have it at in-laws. But Christmas Day, Christmas morning, the children had to be at home in their own bed. That was something that was a must, because we just could not take that away from the children, and then wondering, how will Santa know where we are, and lugging all the gifts and, stuff like that. And it's nice even for the parents, because I've done that with my children. We have Christmas Eve together, but I want them and their children to have their Christmas morning, to sleep in, to wear their jammies, to play with their toys, things like that. So those kind of traditions have always been very special to me. We never had a tradition that I can think of, like who carves the turkey. It was always Dad. Dad always carved the turkey. After Dad passed away, it was my uncle when we went to my aunt's place. So that wasn't a big deal. We always helped. There was always busyness in the kitchen. That was something the kitchen was kind of the focal point. Even when my aunt moved into a small apartment, they bought themselves an apartment, and even though the kitchen was small, us girls, me and my two cousins, my aunt had two girls, two boys. So the girls, Susie and Elaine, and me, and my aunt, and my grandmother, sometimes Mom too, but mostly it was just the girls. And we would laugh. My aunt would tell us stories of what she believed when she was young, and it was really fun. It was really fun. I have fond memories. And I hope you have fond memories of Christmas, as we're all preparing for craft fairs, planning for Christmas. We're getting closer and closer, and I hope you have some wonderful memories. If you can remember just one wonderful memory that you have of your childhood, and some of the Christmas traditions that you had. I'd really love to hear about those. Anyway, guys, I have to go. I've got so much to do. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.